Hey everyone, my name is David and I am your travel insider. Now, first of all, do you know who this is? If you do, comment below. I will tell you about it in the next video. But I'm going to start by holding this and tell you about myself. I have been traveling for a better part of a decade. And why do I travel so much? Well, there's a lot of reasons. Personal, professional for a while, and now I run a fintech startup that focuses on telling people all about credit card deals and discounts and offers. It's called Crib, but this channel is not to promote my business. This channel is about telling you what I know about travel to hack your travel experiences with points, with miles, with general tips to book cheaper tickets to fly more luxuriously, getting yourself and your partners and family into business class or first class for a fraction of the price, and also to share my travel stories and experiences. Some of it, I hope, can inspire you for your next adventure. Or if not, at least give you something to debate about. For example, why do I love Qatar Airways so much? A lot of people I know in this world love to fly other airlines. Emirates, for example, Cathay Pacific, Singapore Airlines. Well, I'm sure this one's debatable. British Airways, American Airlines. But I love Qatar. Why? Stay tuned for the next video. I'm going to tell you a little bit more. Hint? So, why do I love to travel so much? As you can see, this is a coconut from the Maldives Islands. Well, for me, traveling is quite an experience. For one, it takes you away from what you know best, your comfort zone, right? And we all love to get out of your comfort zone sometimes for that bit of thrill, bit of getaway peace. But more importantly, for me, it's about seeing other cultures around the world, giving you a different perspective of, well, we share the same planet, right? We all live on planet Earth. And so giving you that different perspective of what life is like in a different corner of the same world that we all share, how they live their lives, how do they look at this world, and what kind of things they value, helps you get some perspectives. For example, when you get to the Maldives, yes, it is very commercial. Yes, when you get to the resorts, it's all about, spending a lot of money on a nice island, etc. But you don't have to. There's ways to stay at Maldives for the cheap or for a discount and still have the best experience. But what kind of perspective does it give you? Well, for example, when you go snorkeling and diving in the ocean amongst the fish, the sharks, and sometimes, if you're very lucky, the whale sharks, it really makes you feel so small and minuscule. You're a little dot in the ocean. It only takes one wave for you to just be lost amongst the sea. In fact, maybe some of you can relate to this. When you snorkel in the ocean, and by the way, I'm actually really scared of the deep ocean. Maybe I just seen too many Jaw movies or, movies around sharks. But when you dip your head above water in the middle of the ocean, it is bloody scary. You look left, right, it's a 360 panoramic view of nothing. Literally nothing. You feel so helpless. But of course, when you dip down, you have beautiful corals below you. But that's such a big change from where, let's say I'm from, in Hong Kong, where you're stuck in an urban jungle and it makes you feel very stressed out all the time. It's just that different perspective that you yearn for when you travel the world, and that's what it's about. For me, seeing an island in the Maldives and the South Indian Ocean, obviously very, very relaxing. It also makes you really connect with nature. But let's say if you go to somewhere like Venice, or London, or New York, or Los Angeles, or even some more exotic locations like Havana in Cuba, or Cyprus, or Egypt. These are places that I've personally been on where it really gives you complete different perspectives on how life is around the world. And I'll tell you one of my most fascinating stories, maybe we'll get to it if you're interested in hearing, is how I literally hiked 7 days, living on tents and just a backpack, to the foothills of Mount Everest from Lhasa. And I'm gonna tell you, it's a hell of a story to tell now, but God bless, when I was on that trip, I was ready to die. It was absolutely just the most excruciating pain and exhaustion that one can feel. But at the same time, it really makes you feel that you are just a tiny dot on planet Earth. And when you see those locals who live atop the mountains, herding or tending to their livestock, it really makes you wonder, why are you stressing about your 9-to-5 job? Why are you stressing about the political hierarchy in your organization? And sometimes, I'm not saying you should, but it sometimes makes you wonder, why are you so stressed about all these things in your life that really don't matter because you can't take them to the grave with you? Now, I'm not here to make those stress sound unimportant or insignificant. They are, they very much are. But that's, I think, why we all yearn to travel, to just get away from it a little bit, to look at things in the bigger picture, and to feel that at the end of the day, our lives matter. Our lives are important because that's all we have in the little time that we have on Earth. But anyways, I know we get a little bit sentimental. I just want to share with you my thoughts around how I look at travel, and that's why I love traveling. But I know travel is a luxury. It's not cheap. It can be cheap, but you still gotta fork out money. There's no free trips around the world. That bit is very clear. So, since we are on the topic of travel, I want to help you explore the world in a way that's economical, smart, and let's say if you are splurging a lot of money, well, let's make sure that money is well spent, not instead wasting it on inferior products and services that actually will make you regret. Case in point, I've heard many stories of people who go on their honeymoons finally booking a business or first class ticket only to find themselves in a not so luxurious experience. Well, I can find ways to help you get the same ticket in luxury private cabins for a fraction of that price. So travel involves many different types of transportation methods, right? Flights, planes, cruises, cars, railroads, etc. I have a very strong passion specifically for flights. Why is it? Now, many people have different reasons to like flying. I think when we're all young, we're very mesmerized by seeing these big engineering marvels getting themselves off the ground, roaring to the skies, and hearing that engine rumble, right? Well, nowadays, with much more fuel-efficient engines, you don't actually hear that much noise. But for me, it's not really about any of that. It's about, well, being disconnected from the world. And I genuinely do mean disconnected in the metaphysical sense, but also in the actual physical sense. For one, the moment those roaring engines take you off the runway, you are gone. You are literally lifted from planet Earth. I think that's something that sometimes we really just take for granted, or we just don't really think about. At that moment in time, you are no different than an astronaut lifting off in a space shuttle, because you're lifting from the ground. You're physically not on Earth anymore, right? Now, granted, you're not really going up that high up, but still, that physical barrier between you and land, I think, creates that mental mindset in your head to say, well, I'm no longer connected to that location anymore, right? And when you're lifting off, and I think a lot of times when we end our holidays, why do we feel so sad? Why do we feel that blues the moment you take off? It's because you're no longer connected to that destination that you were enjoying your stay at, right? Or that thrill when you're going to your holiday, you feel the moment the engines roar and you take off, you're like, yes, we're on our holiday, and you feel so much relaxed. Why? Because the problems that you have left from your home or wherever you're flying from, that's behind you, physically on the ground, right? But in addition to that, you're also disconnected because for the most part, there's not much connectivity on the plane, right? And for me, I enjoy that peace and quietness. That's that little moments in your life where you have it just to yourself. You can shut out all of the concerns, all of the worries, all of the criticisms, and just all of the stress that's taking over your head, your mind, your body, and you just live in the moment, right? Now, of course, different cabin classes give you different experiences, right? Of course, in first and business, you can enjoy your meal lie flat and really take in the environment, while in economy, sometimes you got this big dude next to you and you're like, ugh. But the moment you plug in your headphones, you open your little book, or you go to sleep, nothing's bothering you at that moment. Sure, when you land, the world might explode, right? But at that moment in the plane, you're removed from all of that. And it's a very peaceful moment that you have to yourself, or your partner, or your family and friends. And so that, I think, is something that's really, really important. Now, of course, as we all know, the air is getting much more connected. There's a lot of free Wi-Fi. Starlink has done a great job with that. And that's allowed us to stay productive. And I think there is some value to that. But for me, having that moment of disconnect in the air is really what brought me to the skies and has kept me in the skies. Now, I still stay connected from time to time. Sometimes you got to get work done. Sometimes you got to stay connected with your friends and family and loved ones. But when you can, just have those moments of disconnect. You'd be surprised how much mental recovery you get just from those moments of peace. Anyways, that's why I love to fly. What are your reasons? So, come with me on this journey. I'm going to tell you all that I have, and we'll share this journey together because I want to hear from you. I want to hear your thoughts, your comments, your stories, so that we build this community together and let's explore the world.